Hello gamers, hello friends. Welcome back to The Infected. It was another beautiful day in the gaming world. Today, I'm going to be honest, I don't really have much planned for today other than we're going to go get some resources for sure. And we're going to try and work our way up to 750 gold. I think that's what we need so that we can get it's either the repair bench or the electric saw bench. I think it was the repair bench we were looking at. So that we can, you know what, let's just look at our tech when we get inside. So, here we are. It is evening in the neighborhood. A beautiful evening for a neighbor. We have 1.5 coins. That's not looking good. That's looking decidedly bad. Okay, we get advanced mixer. That's good. Okay, we repair bench and the electric circular saw bench. Only one of which I think we're going to be able to muster today if we're lucky. I think we have, oh yeah, we don't have the gas generator. We do have the batteries though. And there's of course all these as well. So these are separate purchases that you can do. You can get like furniture 1, furniture 2, that sort of thing. And they'll all unlock certain things for your base, like decorations. We haven't got those yet, but we will get them eventually. Yeah, so we don't have any of these yet. All available from the trader. Other than that, I think we actually have everything. Let's just check. Yeah, we got everything. So one thing we're going to need to do, or going to want to do, is eventually we're going to want to build a garage. For that we're going to need some concrete. Actually, there's 90 dry bricks, clay, and planks. I think we actually have all of that. So we're going to investigate that possibility. I wish there was a way that you could pin the recipe to like your like a couple other games recently that have that option where you can just pin it to your screen that shows up on the right side of your screen. That'd be nice. I don't think it would be necessary, and I wouldn't say that the game is broken without it, but it would be a nice quality of life thing so that you're not having to switch between your inventory all the time. It'd just be a nice little feature, but not at all needed or necessary in any way, shape, or form. Let's go over here and have a look-see. We got some iron. Nice. We'll take those. Okay, and we'll put those in. Good. Indeed. We move all those, and then we go put these in here. It's kind of a good thing, I guess, that we've been making concrete so right? Oh, look at that, guys. We're almost to the point where we were when we started building last episode, iron-wise. And I think I'm going to go ahead and make some steel ingots, or some steel, you know what, I didn't think this through very well. I did not, in fact, think this through. So, it's going to take us forever to walk over here. So, go ahead and talk about general thoughts. We are closing in on, the series, and, we are going to finish building whatever it is that we need to build, and that'll be fine, but approach the end of the series, I've been like, I want to do a second one. I won't be doing a second series right away. I do want to take some time and explore other options. As I've said before, I don't want to be locked into a specific type of gaming content at all, because that doesn't give us any freedom. This is supposed to be just a gaming channel in general. I'll find a game and share it with you guys. And that's kind of the whole purpose. So, realistically, locking myself into a certain... Oh my god, look at all these iron fragments. What am I supposed to do with all this? Oh my god, I'm going to shut my grinders down. Oh my god. It is supposed to be just a general gaming channel. Now, obviously, there's going to be some of similarity. Like, I do play 7 Days to Die. I play a lot of Valheim. And we think about it, like, it's all going to be limited by, one to at the time, because, that it makes sense. You play what you enjoy. The things that you enjoy, you share on the channel. But, that good. I don't want it to come to a point where, that I do a certain game or a certain type of game simply because that's the way it's always been. That's what I want. I want to share a wide variety of games because, the spice of life. Or in some cases, even the key to life. So, want to be locked into the same thing all the time. Yeah, I probably do. I'm going to want to put this somewhere. No, I don't want to put it right there. I'm going to have to expand the walls again, guys. That's going to be a thing that I have to do. But as long as I keep line of fire fairly well clear. A conundrum here. You know what? I think for right now, I should actually... Alright, so... Okay, I can place that there. I'm not going to place it there, but let's just see if there... You know what? I think I have room for this, guys. We're going to throw the garage... Let's see if we can throw it over here. If we can. If we can't, well, you know, I think you can throw it on a foundation, because it has its own foundation. So, well, okay. We're going to throw it there for now. Because it actually makes more sense than anything else. Obviously, we're going to have to bring the barbed wire and stuff out and place for it. But that'll be fine. We'll do that later. For right now, we can walk through the blueprint. I'm not going to throw any more in there than is already there. I was just getting the concrete out of my inventory. Yeah, mechanical parts and electrical parts is something we're going to have to actually go out and get today, I think. Iron ingots, planks, and small stones, all of which we can easily accomplish. Let's go over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 12. Go the concrete for now. Can in the sell me box. Yeah, so 8 coins per stack, and we have 6. It's almost 100. I don't know. The 8. 88 coins in concrete right now. Yeah, okay. Need more clay. Ooh. Alright. And we're going to need a workbench in here somewhere. I feel like the best place to put that would be probably right here at the end. Don't need super advanced. Workbench. Nails and planks. Yeah, we'll just throw a basic one there for now. If we'd feel like it, we could upgrade it later. Running low on planks. Holy. Alright. That's 10 planks. Okay. Fasteners. Oh, we're low on energy. Yeah, we're gonna have to go and sleep for the night, guys. That's fine. Take all. All. Go. We'll throw the sand back in here. There we go. Alright. It's like that. Yeah, once we get everything all set up, we're gonna head out and do all the fun stuff. Okay. Throw the nails back in there. Very good. And we're going to go ahead and grab some food. There we go. We are full to capacity. Throw that in here. So we're gonna need electrical parts and mechanical parts. We got lots of those. Yes. We need steel. I think we need a steel ingot. Oh, you know what? I don't plan on coming back in here, so let's grab some steel. Okay. Finish this here. You know what? Let's go grab some iron ingots. We're gonna set those ones up to going too. We're chocolate. I should really be using my cart for this. So we're gonna set up 1 or 2 of those extractors that are meant to extract like everything. Have a chance of getting like iron. It occurs to me that while we are making really great headway on the other ores, steel is gonna be a challenge if we don't keep on top of it. So we're gonna start a couple of those extractors on the iron and iron fragments that they're supposed to be extracting, and it will be good. So if you'll notice, we had originally talked about a couple episodes ago how we're gonna need another water wheel at some point in terms of being able to power the fridges, and that's true. We are going to need that. Start extracting, please. Thank you. Okay. So the others, we're not extracting only stone from this one. We want the iron ore that these extractors are going to produce so that we can make steel. Enough, I think. I know I have enough, but there we go. Okay, we got a couple left over. We'll go and throw those back in the shelves. Yeah, and there we go. We're dropping down again. Iron is a constant staple that you need to run refining. Don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of blue. Thank you. Man. Alright. Well, that's good for fuel. Okay. Iron is going to be a constant struggle, though, to keep up with, and that's the way it is. It's all going to be like that. There's not going to be a time where, you build everything in the game because we have that much iron. No, you don't have that much iron. Stop it. And because, like, everything, iron, and it doesn't just take, like, some, most of it takes, like, all of iron. So, yeah. A thing. We're going to throw down a couple boxes here. There we go. 1, 2. Throw it on top there. God, I love that function of the cart where you could still have the animal in the bottom and have the boxes on top. I love that. I don't remember if that was always a thing or not. We'll take this. I'm going to head down here. Alright. Revolve. We got a lot more aluminum right now than we have. There we go. That'll be just ducky. Alright. We're going to start cooking up some of these other ores. Because we got a lot of them and very little places to put them. Need a couple more things of... Yeah. We're going to be here to rotate them at least once, so it's going to take us a little bit. That's okay. But as we approach the end, we're going to start running out of things that we can do. Okay, foremost, let's stop. Okay, we need a spear. I need 2 for that. Spear. Okay, we need 1. All right, and we need a steel for the pickaxe head. I think that's iron that we need. That's a pickaxe head. We're gonna craft that. Go ahead and craft that. And we are going to build... Okay, we need specifically... Okay, so for steel spear, I need sticks and plant fibers. For a pickaxe, I need sticks. Okay, so grab a whole bunch of sticks and some plant fibers. All of which is in here. There we go. And we go back to the bench. Pickaxe. Great. Okay, the upgrade tool on us. That's good. I want to... grab do you have room in this thing? Yeah, I do. Okay. In there for now. Right. Go grab all that. Oh, hell no. Okay. Okay, good. If we pick up those. Oh, that seems to be all the ones that we can hold. So we can actually... Cool. So for 20 iron fragments, we can upgrade these to iron spike traps. Which is great because they have higher hit points. Oh, we're out of iron fragments. Of course we are. They have higher hit points and are way less likely to break. I was reading the patch notes there as I was saying to you. So, I think I had a couple more. So, as I was saying, I was reading the patch notes at a point, and the break chance for wooden spikes is like 10%. Something makes contact with them. And you can see that right here, they have 100 max health. Boom, 350. Oh, come on from the other side. Beautiful. I'm gonna move. Oh shit. We're gonna have to do this creatively. Okay, we'll throw this in here. I am absolutely not worried, by the way, about the amount of iron fragments that I'm going to be consuming in this process. It is going to be a lot, don't get me wrong, but it is not going to be the point it kneecaps us. Like, that's a lot of iron fragments, no doubt. Yeah, it's not gonna hit us to the point where... There we go. We're gonna throw the last of these here. See, like, look at that, guys. We got all this raw ore that we got to process. Like, it's much we have of that particular resource. But right now, okay, now we cart, and we go and upgrade the iron, or the wooden spikes to iron. And this will give us a huge advantage because we won't have to repair them as often, and they're likely to break. So, give me that. Give me booty repair kits. Nice. Oh, nope, we're out. Right, so the 20% drop rate, destroy rate of wooden spikes goes down to 10, I believe, on the spikes, if I patch notes correctly, which is amazing because they only roll once. Like, it's not as they're squirming or whatever on the that they do more damage to it. It calculates when it's done. So this will make your spikes last a lot longer. Now keep in mind, there is still a chance that they die. It's just a lot less likely. Nope. I'm out. So you can look at all those iron fragments we wound up using for this. Because, yeah, I mean, I don't even think we're going to have enough to fully finish. But the beautiful part is when you upgrade, you also repair. It repairs all for you. Upgrade. So if you're running low on spike traps, you can repair them, or you can upgrade them. And I upgrading might actually be the way to go. Nope, we're out. And I think that's actually all of our iron fragments. We got 5 left, but I don't think we have any more in the box. No, we don't. Alright, fair enough. Still, that's 2 out of 3 sides of the base completely upgraded to iron spikes. And, I mean, iron, not that hard to come by. So, we're doing pretty good. And now, oh shoot, I did it again. I'm actually not meaning to do that. I was not meaning to actually clear all my sand. That's not what I meant to do. Terrible bit. We got a chest and a half of iron fragments now in our pocket. That should be enough to get this side of the wall done anyway. So, nope. I see that one needed to be repaired badly. There we go. Let's just what we need. This should do it. So remember what I was saying? I didn't know what I was going to do with all those iron fragments. Well, looks like we found our answer. Well, those should help defend the base a lot better. I don't see any that aren't upgraded, so I think we're done there. And yeah, it'll just, you know, nice and defended. Shouldn't have any problems with the spikes breaking at this point, which is nice. It's really nice. So you can look at that. We even still have a little bit of iron, like, overflow into the box here, which is fine. That's fine. Those, we'll throw them in the box. And then I think we're going to hit some POIs. We're going to swing out way wide and try and hit some POIs that we haven't hit yet. Just because that seems like a good plan. I'm going to throw my upgrade tool in here. I'm going to throw my pickaxe in my thing. Yeah, see, we need this. You know what? We're going to build this first. We're absolutely going to build that first. First we build our spear, though. I don't know if I've explained this yet. When you run around using your tools, of course, they take durability damage. That's normal. We expect that. The grinding wheel that I'm throwing up right now allows us to sharpen our weapons and tools, in essence, repairing them to full. It does not require any resources to repair them, but it does. You do have to like manually sharpen them. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna throw all the bits in here. Iron ingots. Oh, we just have enough. Planks and stone. Okay, we can do that. 12 stone, some planks. We'll be fine. 12, and we're gonna drag this out too. There's no reason to have this where it was, since you know all this been. There we go. Yeah, perfect. All right, planks in the lumber mill. We're getting used to where everything is. Okay, so we need oil. I wonder if I can use biofuel for that. Let's find out. We'll grab a partial stack of each because... Okay, so... Can run biofuel. We can. Okay. Yeah, if only the circular that really uses oil specifically. I know you can use oil for a lot of things. Like anything you can use biofuel in, you can use oil in. But oil's a lot more precious, so you probably don't want to use that where you can get away with it. Sort of save it stuff that you need it for. Again, unless you have the oil refining, in which case it doesn't matter. Alright, so let's go ahead and... Okay, so you click to activate the grinder, and you can see the in the right corner there it says Iron Axe under our stats, and the white is filling up again. Okay, you cannot recrossbow though with that process. I wonder. I've never actually tried this, so bear with me. No. Okay, it doesn't let you do that. Fair enough, fair enough. I think I'm going to take my stone pickaxe. I'm just going to... Because it's got 75 left on it. I don't think I need to justify why I'm taking that out. I'm just going to use it till it goes. And then, yeah, I'll just run it like that. So we got the... Okay. No. There we go. So we'll just use the pickaxe. It runs out. When it dies, then we have these the iron pickaxe. The iron pickaxe, of course, does a lot more work for the same amount of durability. We are going to iron fragments, leather, or feather, and sticks. Iron fragments, feathers, and sticks. Oh, we must be thirsty. There we go. So it's taking us a bit, guys, to get this time, but you know what it is. We're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna make a whole bunch of sticks. Okay, no room in inventory. That's fine. We're gonna go ahead and throw all these logs in here. About time we actually went out and got some sticks anyway. Alright. Bark and fiber. I think we needed the fiber though. And the go. What? Oh, we need feathers. Sticks, fragments, and feathers. Not sticks, fragment, and fiber. Fair enough. Fair enough. Don't have any fragments. Fair enough. You make some trank arrows too. Eventually I'm going to want to fill the rest of my barn with goats. Oh, we are critically low on mushrooms. Yeah, I think I'm going to want to make some more trank arrows. We got 8 more trank arrows. I'm not as worried about the trank arrows for right now. They're not even mission critical at this point. It's just it's nice to have them when you need them, and you want a good stock of them too. Like, it's not get away with just having a few. You want a good supply of trank arrows, because if you miss your shot, the arrow's gone. If you hit the animal and it doesn't go down, your arrow's still gone and you're in trouble now. So have a good supply. Now this should be more. Yeah. See, 40 appears to be the limit. 40 bolts. Sorry, which is fine. Byproduct. Go. And yeah, now that we're all re-geared and everything's been updated, we're good to go and do some hardcore looting. I wonder how much cement we have since we've been, at like 2 days. That's actually part of the looting process. I'm not. Take all, throw that in there. And then how much do we have? Yeah, okay, so we need to empty those. You want to try not to let your mixers run dry whenever you move all. Okay, and that is the other reason that we put the table right here. Making clay is heavy. Clay is heavy. It's super heavy, right? It is a lot heavier than clay soil. We're going to get some more aluminum. We're going to get some aluminum moving while we're out. So every round that we do with aluminum is 2 wind turbines that we could build in theory. And I know we're not super concerned at the moment with the wind or solar. The wind is going to be pretty vital at a point, and we do want to make sure that we're on top of that. What do the batteries take? Yeah, see, electrical is the part that we're missing here, so we are going to need that. Yeah, aluminum. I have a lot of those. We don't have a lot of steel either, but I need to put up the last bit of shelving too, so that we know exactly how much we need to call ourselves done. So when those fill up, by the way, that is going to be the point where we say, okay, actually, when those fill up and we don't have anything else that we can do with them, that will be the point where they, we're done metal-wise. We don't have any other use for them, and we got amount of them. So we're going to go here. Yeah, our power capacity is nuts. With 3 windmills, it's just over 1,000. So we're going to grab the concrete that we made already. Okay. Okay. So that's going to be a large chunk of money. When we say that concrete is not necessarily the play, by stack, it's not. At 8 coins, it is not the most valuable. It is, however, and I will give it this, of the high value sale items, it is the most prolific. So if you're looking to make cash steady and fast, cement is the way to go. But if you have one of those situations where, see, that's a whole bunch of money. If you have one of those situations, however, where you have multiple different items in your inventory, or like things that you can sell, like offloading is not the way. Printing money cement is the way. So I know that's a little confusing, but basically it's not the best moneymaker in the game, but it is the most consistent, I guess, is what I'm saying, right? Because you can make cement with clay and sand, and you, for free, wind up getting well, basically for free, you can get a device that extracts clay, and, you know, also free, you can get a device that extracts sand. Pretty actually, right? Yeah, I know what this around with that. You know, a row of concrete in a box, it's 80 coins. If you have 3 rows, it's 240. So concrete is a good seller. And because you can build more mixers to make the cement faster, it's actually pretty reliable. But it's only reliable once you get the advanced mixer, and that's part of the problem with that strategy, is you not only have to skip the mixer to get the advanced mixer, which is not always a viable economic play, because sometimes you need other things more than you need the mixer. And you have to prioritize those, right? Now, on the other side of that, if you have like a box of tea or coffee, and you have like a box of hands that you're not using, go ahead and use that. Like make the tea, or at least most of it. You know, then sell that. You'll make a good amount of money for selling the coffee and tea as well, the prepared coffee and tea. I mean, you can sell the coffee and tea unprepared for decent amounts of money, I guess, but you know, the work that you have to do in some cases to make a modest profit is sometimes not worth it. But with the cement it is. And, you know, I get what I'm driving at. You know what? This one's always good to us. So let's play dead. Oh, there we go. Play dead. YouTube. Thank you. There we go. I feel pretty good about running in here and grabbing these bodies, because you see that? I was looting his body and he got up. I wonder what causes that. There we go. Some lead and some iron. Iron fragment. We'll go ahead and eat that. Ooh, a liver for us. Go ahead and eat that too. Some electrical and wiring. Wiring not so useful, but pretty valuable on the sale end, so we'll absolutely take that. Ooh, a full heal. Oh, don't see any guys there. And I'm sure you've noticed, but I am not at this point taking the I don't need it. I get enough of it. I might a couple pieces here and there every so often, but by and large I'm not taking coal anymore. I just don't need it. It's not useful anymore. Part of me wonders if this isn't being good to us because we haven't been here in so long. Part of me is wondering, but I'm sure it's an illusion. I'm sure it is. Oh, nope. Play dead? Uh-oh. He's not dead. Alright. Well, we got hit, but didn't hurt too bad. One of the houses was not looted, I don't think. Yeah, I don't hit in this one. We'll just eat that. Fish. Fish, we will not eat the fish. That. Did this one? Yeah, we did. Did we loot the ambulance? Yeah. The car? Yep. Little girl? Yep. Okay. They say that. Mechanical, electrical, plastic. You know what? I'm not even sure I need plastic anymore. Yeah, we'll do it. Alright. Yeah, play dead. 2 electrical parts off of that guy. Okay. Nope. Note that even though he went and did the animation for yelling, we didn't hear anything. Okay. Cool. Anything in either of these? I could destroy that cart and the boxes and get half the resources back, but I don't see the point. Basic smash and grab today, guys. I know it took us a bit to get started, but it is what it is. At some point we should probably come through here and grab more tallow as well. Or not tallow, aloe is what I meant to say. Let's go... Wait. I don't know what that mark is there. That was the one. Okay. That was we wound up getting the last of the tech. Let's go here to this TV trailer location. Let's see what we need to fix that up. We don't need the trailer. But, I mean, it, like basically, right? And, stop it. Thank you. It is a full playthrough, so it wouldn't be much of a full playthrough if we didn't, repair them and get it home. It's just basically something to do, and I'm pretty sure we have all the stuff to do it. We just gotta go find it. Okay, now we're the right way. Let's go! All kinds of shenanigans. I was thinking the other day, and I was watching, I was want to watch your videos when you edit them, but I was making mention of, how it would score on a personal level. And I realized, I'm that whole spiel of rating the game. I don't think I ever mentioned what my criteria are for, rating it. Stop it. Okay, yeah, that'll work. That'll work just fine. I don't want to have to drive through the city anyway. That's not where we're going. We're going to some of the POIs we haven't been to yet. So, one of the things I look at personally when I'm rating games, first and foremost, does it work? Does it do what it is supposed to do? Is it the kind of game it is panned to be? Right? So if you're playing a survival game of any kind, right? Is there an aspect of the game, or several aspects of the game, where you actually have to try to survive, right? Like, first, is it actually a survival game? If the answer is yes, you've got that little box and move along. My criteria don't really have them. I kind of look at as if you really wanted to, you could put it as 2 points per notch on the system, right? Unless they get nothing. And that is possible. So, when you're looking at that, it's like, how well do it? Not well at all, poorly, average, good, very well. You could assign 2 points for every one of those, I suppose. Right? It's a system, and I don't assign specific points to any of the answers. But I suppose you could do it that. And that tier is, in which it doesn't do it at all. It does not look at all like it's advertising, and you assign it a 0, right? So, this is a survival game, and it is panned as a survival game. That's one of its tags, right? So it gets points, right? How well does it do that? I think it does actually pretty well. I would assign it a solid, it does, right? I would also go as far as to say it does it very well. You have to eat. If you don't eat, you will starve. Is food hard to come by? No. But is it hard enough to come by that you have to work for it? Yes, actually. I would say it is. Now, I wouldn't say that you have to necessarily work hard for it, but I would say that you have to work for it. Like, you can't sit around and endlessly do one and get a whole bunch of food, right? One could argue that, yes, the greenhouse automates the process, but think about that. You have to work to get the greenhouse. First and foremost, you have to find a tech page to get the tech, right? And there's several other dependent techs that you kind of need to make the greenhouse doable. Okay, so, on note, it is not as simple as just building a greenhouse at the start of the game. No, you got to go out there and get that tech. You also got to get the parts, right? You have to water your plants. You have to harvest your plants. You got to replant your plants. Now, Mike does that for us, but if you don't have Mike, you have to do it. Otherwise, nothing grows in your greenhouse, right? You also have to build the planter boxes and, a great other things to make that work. And in order to automate it, you have to have a lot of tech in order to fully automate that process, right? Where are we? There we are. All right, yeah, okay. So you have to work for it. It's not hard work. Like, you're not hard, but you are working for it, right? You get yourself by running POIs, which you're going to wind up doing anyway, right? And, you can water sometimes by going through POIs again, or by boiling it. It's not an immense pain, but it is work, right? And I think that's the balance, because when the whole game focuses around where you're going to get your next sip of water from, you're not enjoying any of the rest of the game. It's enough of a pain, or enough of a process. You want to stay on top of it, and you don't want to have to be doing it all the time, right? You want to have a slight excess, But all in all, it's not game crippling. It is a necessary evil, and it stays that way, right? So I would say that it does it really well, right? Similarly, you need to build this, that, and the other thing. Okay, that is different than any other survival game, right? I would say that some of the resources can be a little scarce, and have to rely on RNGesus for some of them is not the way that I would go. But I would say that all in all, the loot tables are well thought out and well balanced. So even though it is not the way I would go, this game does it really well. But again, if pain in the ass, well, is it really fun? I would probably not, right? Where is this clown? Where is he? I don't see him. There's what it is. I'm moving on. So, nobody will deal with a perpetual pain in the ass in terms of, anything of the game. Absolutely nobody asks for that, right? Sometimes you live with that because it, just either way, but nobody asks for it. Nobody wants it, right? And I think this game does a really good job of balancing even the more menial and to the game. And I find that it does that by having more than one way to acquire several of the different resources that you need. So overall, does it? Yes. It functions quite well. I would give this a 9, like a very, very worth, as opposed to being a full very well, which would be 10, in theory, if you were using the 2 points. That being said, though, right, some of the aspects of this game are lower. For example, it is not exceedingly intuitive. If you walk into this game and you got no idea what's going on, you still have no idea what's going on. Now, there is a tutorial, and I believe I turned it off, but it's not exceptionally comprehensive. And I think part of the reason for that is because so much of the game is tech-based. You're for most of the game. Pardon me. Got a tickle in the back of my throat. You are supposed to make noise. Anyway, yeah. So, but it doesn't cover everything. Like, for example, make it look easy to wire stuff. But if you'll notice, exactly nowhere in my power base have I used electrical relays or wall switches, and you will never see me use them because they make no sense to me in their implementation, and by and large, you don't need them. So you'll never see me use them. To me, it's not the pain of trying to figure it out when I can just wire everything to a junction box. It's a but too far, and I will not use it. And that's because I think you could clean up the look of your base a lot if you were to learn how to use that, but it's just so convoluted that I can't my head around it, so I just don't use it. Now, thankfully, I don't have to use it, but it's kind of a shame, right? The other thing is, there's so many one-way or one-connection-only pieces that it makes it very awkward to wire anything, really. So there's that as well. Now, that may be a skill issue. It might be, and I'll admit that. But, like, for example, you had to wire your power supplies to like relays like that, wire up the batteries. A lot of these techs do not have the ability to multi-wire. Okay, you run wire and that's it, or you have X amount of wires, and you cannot run like stupid amounts of wires to anything, which is fine. You probably should. But on that same note, kinda need wire a base, right? And when it's difficult, like beyond that is truly reasonable, I've found that a lot of people will just walk away from the game rather than figure out a convoluted piece of the game. And I don't know what it is. I do know what it is. It is common in a lot of games. And I don't rag on other games, so I'll be brief. But electrical is also that complicated in 7 Days to Die. They have to use the system, but you can't wire the way it would make sense. You have a solar array and have a or anything like that, and lump them or run them all into a junction box and then run it to a battery bank. You can't do that. It won't let you. Now, in this game, it's not as egregious because you can run a lot of stuff, and thankfully, you don't have to wire your generators. But electrical is that one aspect of most survival games that is just, it is really hard to either program or something. A lot better and a lot more straightforward in this game than it is in a lot of games, and for that reason, I will rank it a lot higher. But it is still by no means necessarily easy. It's not all intuitive, right? And that might be because wiring itself is not necessarily intuitive. I'm not an electrician. I'm a YouTuber. So, I don't know that it would be that easy or anything. Yeah, see, there's the trailer, guys. What do we need for that? 3 mechanical screws, 3 iron ingots. It's not actually all that bad. If I want to be cheeky about it, I suppose I could. You know what? It's not bad. We'll look at it later. But yeah, aspects of games that sometimes are than others, right? And automation is often difficult. And indeed, that brings us to our next on the checklist. How well are the systems integrated within the game, right? Do they two work well with each other? And I will absolutely give a 10 to. The systems exist right now are super well integrated with each other. Hands down, best integration that I've seen in a game. No joke. Everything together has a purpose. Nothing is in such high supply that you'll ever really and truly have a monster surplus, unless you go out of your way to break the supply. And, well, if you're doing that, that doesn't count, okay? But, like, for example, you're never going to get enough mechanical and electrical parts on your own, unless you're making them, to truly, I never hunt for mechanical and electrical again. No, no, stop it. If you're saying that, I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing something different than the rest of us, right? Those things are hard to come by, generally speaking. And, they should be so plentiful that, need more. Now, that being said, you'll start to build up a surplus once you get to the point where you're not building things anymore. You've got your stuff and where you want it and where you need it and everything, and, that's fine, And when that happens, yeah, you'll absolutely develop a surplus. Like, look at the coffee and tea situation back at the base. I got 3/4 of a chest of coffee and tea. I have no cans to make it with. But that's fine, because when I get cans, I just make some tea, right? Why are you in there? You should not be in there. You should be in there. There we go. Right? So integration. How well does the systems work with each other in this game? Absolutely 10 out of 10. I will give it that every day of the week. It's by far the most meshed together and well meshed together games I've played in a very long time. And, or something. And I think we should be pointing that out, right? The whole, integration and whatever. When you're talking about a game is survival, but it's not just exclusive to survival games. A question I don't think anybody really asks is, what's the challenge? And what is the main challenge supposed to be? And they are not always the same thing, okay? Now, to be fair, in this game, you can turn up the Vambies quite a bit. You guys seen that? Hey, buddy. What's up? Safety suit living your best life. If you know, be the main obstacle to your success, right? Currently, in the current iteration of the game, this game fairly well in that respect. I'm assuming that it's going to be better, more for Vambies when the storyline comes out. But again, you can modify the amount of Vambies that you're getting in POIs. You can modify whether they appear in the world naturally. You can change those settings, and that's right. That means you get to have a little more say in just how difficult the game gets for you. And I think I'm fine with that. There's no way that. Nothing wrong with that. After all, a game is supposed to be enjoyable. If it's not enjoyable, what are you doing, right? But at the same time, right, if there's no upward curve for, when the rope's down or whatever, it could get quite dull. We've already kicked up the Bambis to 5 per. That's fine. I'm liking them. Hordes are 10. Bambis and POIs are okay with that. But the main challenge of the game is supposed to be. In this case, where are you? You little shit. Fight me! Oh, look at that, guys. It got domed. Anyway, what is the main challenge supposed to be? Probably the Bambis. If we're going by what the title tells us, and if we're going by, what's the most challenging aspect of the game, that would be the Bambis. If I had rated on that level, I'm not sure to give it a super high number, right? But now, I am assuming that kind of thing is going to get fixed with the one release, right? So, tentatively, right now, I'm going to say probably a 6, in terms of how well does it follow its own main villain, right? I'd say 6. I think fair. That's average, right? Most games tend to follow their own villain, right? They do. But, some room for improvement. And there's some mechanics that aren't working 100% of the time. But, it is, and, they feel good, right? It's still, which is also something that I factor in. Despite how playable is the game, right? And this is where some developers do lose it. And we're not even just talking about indie. We're talking AAA companies seem to miss mark far too frequently. Actually, it's one of the reasons that I play primarily indie games at this point, because developers seem to have missed the memo that when you release a game, it's supposed to work. No joke, Too many have missed that memo. It's a little sad, actually. And our leader in the genre, Hod Tower, if you know, released for the last 2 decades, has been bug-riddled messes. Now, the games are ambitious, and, they do a lot of things, or they try to do a lot of new things, often. They do not do them well, though. And when you're trying to develop a video game, that's the point. You're supposed to do them well. You're supposed to do your thing well, at least, Yep. They are most common and most picked on. They are from the only ones. And just so we're all on the same page, even though, admittedly, Fallout 76 was an absolutely astronomical flop when it released, to the level that I'm surprised that they recovered as well as they did. It would have absolutely sunk smaller developers had they pull something that ambitious off and failed that spectacularly. However, I will give it that, as far as I'm aware, that was Bethesda's first MMO. They hadn't done it before, and I don't think they really had anyone on staff that had done an MMO before. So this was them going in completely blind, and I will give them that. It takes courage to step into a new battlefield for the first time, so you know what? I will give them a pass on that. And they have fixed it. They have a lot to fix it. It's not completely, and frankly, because of the model that they use, I don't think it ever will be completely fixed. Because one of the biggest complaints that a lot of gamers had was, they were in like 8 hours of work on their base and whatever, and they'd load in and it'd be gone. Why is that? Because they didn't have static IPs. They like a monumental of miniature servers, and it was all of a sudden not so much of an MMO and more of a cautionary tale. Fair enough, right? So, you got to at least do your thing well. And if you're not doing your thing well, you're going to suffer in the ratings, right? Because you're doing one thing and you're not even doing that, right? It's not a particularly difficult system. Just a ballpark, this feels sort of thing. Storyline gets in its own, but the essence is, does it story first and foremost? If it does, is the story good? Like, do you about the characters? Are the characters developed? right? Does this make sense? You know, because this could be good, but absolutely make no sense. I don't know how that works, but it is possible, and has been done before in the past by several different storytellers and companies. Yeah, that thing either works or it doesn't. So, yeah, you know, sense, is it a good story? You know, are they in it fleshed out, and they have, you know, there's for them to be there? That's what I look at, right? Realistically, you can't, like, freshness is relative. That's not something you could really judge too easily. And let's be honest, it's hard to really quantify that. Fresh idea? What's a fresh idea? We don't know anymore. We got no idea, you know. And the main, this is probably the one that weighs on most games. I recommend this to just my general friends, and I am not talking about specific interest in scoring like zombie games. I know they're not zombies, but hear me out. You know, not even the closest genre of that nature that you could put it in. So we're going to use it just because it's what we got. But would I not to recommend this to gamer, or would I recommend this to us? Well, would I recommend this as a game worth playing to my friends, just in general, right? For several different reasons. And the thing is, regardless of genre a game is, in most cases, you could make a general recommendation for a good game, right? For a good game, you could give that recommendation. So, is the game solid enough to just recommend to anybody? So, that is a hard one. Oh shoot, we didn't go to the trader. No. We'll do that. We'll do that at the start of the next episode. It's running out. I will do that when we get the opportunity. Perfect. Okay. One trip. No. Would I this to a general player? At the moment, in its current iteration, no. However, once it gets its storyline, that will probably change. Okay? The reason I would not recommend this in its current state to other gamers is not because it's bad. It's because it's incomplete to the point where a lot of gamers, especially ones that need to engage with the game, it's a story yet. Now, as long as the storyline is solid on release, this game would absolutely get I would rest from me. But this is all imagination sandbox right now, and for some players, that is not the way to go. So I cannot, and there's a fair amount of them too, that, do not imagination station to fill in gaps. Really? So on that note, no. I cannot give this an honest recommendation in that context. The game is good. It has solid gameplay. But if you're not a person who could run their imagination to fill in gaps in a game that has literally no story, this will bore you to tears, right? Because there's no real story. You have to make your own advancement. So, but it, in my opinion, a solid game. And as long as the developer follows through on, all that they've done so far, I feel like this will get a solid 8, I think, out of just about anybody that would play this, right? And if you wanted to get the jump on it and learn the systems early, it's absolutely, there's nothing wrong with it in the sense that it will, not, be engaging. Just be aware that, it hasn't got the storyline yet. And, if you storyline to engage, you're not going to be giving it a fair shake. I personally love this game. I like the way it's designed. I like the way it's set up. Stakes are real without being oppressive. And it's a very fine line to draw, and I will 100% give the developer all the for that, because that is a very hard line to most AAA developers haven't mastered that line, and so few of them are even bothering to try these days. So, yeah, I would say you absolutely struck a really good balance between, challenge and, if you game in the future, this is the kind of line that, you know, you be walking. It's tough. Oh, yo, what the hell is it swinging at? Oh, it was swinging at the barbed wire. Y'all see, like, out of nowhere. Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. Sorry. There we go. I know I kind of rambled on a bit this episode, but, you know, it helps occasionally to explain where your point of view comes from, right? And again, that all back into, you know, that, you know, when it was released, you know, when I was first learning how to game, it needed to be complete, right? Because you couldn't just throw a patch at it later. The internet didn't exist at that point, right? So completion in the game is actually kind of important. I understand that games are a lot more intricate and a lot more in-depth now than they were. But that means you take a longer development cycle and fix the problems. And, you know, some developers get that, others don't. This developer seems to have gotten that memo. So, you know, if I say, would I recommend this generally? Yes. Once it comes out, absolutely. Once it gets its 1.0, feel free. Right? Or even pick it up now if you think it's interesting enough. And, you know, maybe wait the 1.0. If you decide to play it now and you're not satisfied with it, wait for the 1.0 and then give it another try. Because the story mode could fix, theoretically, a lot of the problems that might be in the game, at least for you. Right? I don't view there to be a lot of problems with the game. So, thanks for listening to me ramble. Thanks for hanging out with me today and just, you know, coming on adventure and getting some supplies and whatever. Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you're liking the series. Again, we are fairly close to wrapping this series up. I'm thinking there's probably between 5 and 6 more episodes, maybe. I'm looking to possibly wrap it up by New Year's and start the new year with a bang. Again, that new series will be something else. It will not be another The Infected series. I'm going to take a break from that, take a step back. I will likely revisit this one in short, maybe. I'm going to hold out for the then we'll start a brand new playthrough, brand new base, and we'll do it all again. All right. But thank you for hanging out with me. Drop a like and subscribe. And until next time, do not let the Vambies bite. You take care of yourselves. Bye-bye now.